Communicate effectively. Work in progress, work in progress. I get it. It's 74 of them, and you have to inculcate them into your neural pathways to understand what they are. And I say that to say this as I close out in summary, in talking to people and not at people, without really knowing it at the time, creating the 74 principles of real leadership. How would I know in 2008 and 2009 that in 2025 I would be, yes, Kevin, you are correct. Nola, Kevin is giving you a compliment. That these principles would actually be the foundation for adult life. Had no idea. Had no idea. But there isn't an occasion or an instance when I can't identify someone using one or more of the 74 principles of real leadership or someone violating and not using, being unaccountable and not using the 74, one or more of the 74 principles of real leadership. It's not happening at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So we didn't get to be taught how to be adults. We just turned 18, turned 22, got out of college. If we went there, and now we're supposed to know how to interact, engage with other adults. If we don't know how to do it in high school and we don't get any information after that, why would we know how to magically be able to do it if it were not taught? Interpersonal skills are not taught in high school, and communicate effectively is not taught, and listen and treat people with dignity and respect. None of those things are taught, but somehow as adults, we're just supposed to know how to do it. And even when we think we know how to do it, we're actually not doing it because of the other neural pathways that have to be built, the infrastructure for it. So Kevin, you know when you're building something, you need a foundation first, and then you can build up. Shaky foundation, and that thing is going to be leaning like the Tower of Pisa over there. It's going to be wobbling, if you don't put the right amount of screws. Something is just doing like this, you touch it and it falls over. That's what happens to most people's relationships and interactions, because that foundation, that mud seal of the 74 principles of real leadership isn't there. And always be learning, always be improving. When you continue to use these principles of real leadership, it takes you to a level in your life that you didn't know was possible. It's going to open up your mind to unlimited possibilities. Can makes the impossible possible. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And you have a better existence. You actually have a better existence. And that's what this is about. Your daily. I thought about it the other day. Someone on Threads asked, what was your first exposure to technology? And I thought about it. And my first exposure to technology is when my mother was a government employee. She went from working in a computer room to sitting at a desk. She came to career day in the 7th grade, right before she went into the intern program and turned into a crackhead. And she printed out on the dot matrix printers everybody's name. So when it was finished, everybody got this printout, which in 1987 was a cool thing to have your name in the printout of the computer from the printer. Because like, oh my God, look at this. This is my name, and that whole little dot matrix thing. So anyway, I thought, well, that was a great thing to have, to be able to put. And I thought about those instances. And I said, it wasn't those instances when she showed up. It was the daily. It was the daily. It was the day in and day out of coming home every day, taking her bath. If you didn't catch her before she made her own separate dinner and started watching the news, you couldn't really have a conversation. So you had about 20 minutes, and that was it before she went from work to TV mode, and that was it. So I'm saying that to say, your daily. What do you want your daily to look like? Your daily. What do you want it to look like? And I see your post, Lola. I'm about to respond. That's what personal accountability is for. What do you want from your day? What do you want from May 8th, 2025? What do you want from it when you go to sleep? And you have the ability to get something from it every day when you apply the 74 principles of real leadership. Something for yourself, and what do you want the people around you to experience day in and day out? And when you hold them personally accountable to be their best, then that conversation exchange is different. Everything you do is different and better because of the 74 principles of real leadership. They actually have meaning and value for where you are today, not for a special occasion, not for some anniversary event, trip to Paris for your anniversary, but for today. And that's what matters, is the day. This is the day. You don't have another day. You might not make it to the end of today, but in this moment, today, right here, right now, make